Welcome back everyone. Thanks for tuning this video. This video will see is it worth to upgrade from EOS R to EOS R5. So let's get it done. Let's break down this video into two categories, photography specs and the videography specs. We compare both the EOS R and the EOS R5, the videography and the photography specs. So let's do it. So here is the photography specs comparison between the EOS R5 and the EOS R. In the very beginning, we get the 15 more megapixel in the EOS R5 than the EOS R. Then you have the one-stop more dynamic range in the EOS R5. Then you get 1 bit more color depth in EOS R5. Then you have 12 frames per second mechanical shutter and 20 frames per second electronic shutter in the EOS R5. In EOS R, you have 8 frames per second and 5 frames per second in f servo. In EOS R5, you have dual pixel f version 2, which is more accurate and more faster than the EOS R. Then you have the in-body installation in the EOS R5, where you get the 8 stops in-body installation with specific RF lenses, and you get the 5 stops in-body installation with the EF or the third-party lenses. But in EOS R, you don't have the in-body image stabilization. Here's the video specs comparison between the EOS R5 and EOS R. In EOS R5, you have the 8K, 24 or 30 FPS, 12-bit RAW, all-I or IPV. In EOS R, there is no 8K. In EOS R5, there is 4K up to 120 FPS, all-I or IPV. In EOS R, you have only 24 or 30 FPS. In EOS R5, 1080p up to 120 FPS. In EOS R, only up to 60 FPS. In EOS R5, there is no crop in any of the video formats, whereas in EOS R, you have at least 1.8 times crop in 4K. EOS R5 can record both the H.264 or H.265, whereas the EOS R can record only H.264. EOS R5 can record both the 8 or 10 bit 420 or 422, and EOS R also can record 8 or 10 bit 420 422, but recording the 10 bit you need the external monitor, whereas in EOS R5 you don't need any external monitor. You can record all the video formats internally. Let's see the downside of the EOS R5. The price itself is a huge, and it's kind of a downside for the EOS R5. Then you need to buy the costly accessories like the CF Express card. You might need to spend maybe around 25 to 40,000 to buy the CF Express card. Then you need the high capacity hard drive that you have to store your 8K or 4K high frame rate files, and you have the image with the 45 megapixel huge resolution images. Then you need to have this high capacity external storage. Then you need to have the high-end computer graphics, RAM and processor and SSDs to edit all those huge files, otherwise it can really destroy your system. Then another downside is the 30 minutes recording time for the EOS R5. You can't continuously shoot the videos more than 30 minutes at a time. You need to switch on your videos every after 30 minutes. Last downside is the overheating issues. It happens mostly with the 8K and high frame rate 4K videos, but not with the 4K 24 or 30 FPS and not with the 1080p videos. After comparing the photography and the videography specs of both the EOS R and the EOS R5, here is the final verdict. Number one, if you're solely a landscape photographer and you already own the EOS R with you, if you're thinking to upgrade the EOS R to EOS R5, you need to think about the two important specs. One, the dynamic range. That is, you're getting one stop more dynamic range in the EOS R5. Then you get the more megapixels, 15 more megapixels in the EOS R5 than the EOS R. And if you think these two specs are very important for your landscape photography, go and grab the EOS R5. As a landscape photographer, if you ask me, do you really need to upgrade from EOS R to EOS R5? I'll tell my opinion that upgrading from EOS R to EOS R5 is not a huge upgrade for the landscape photographers. If you're a landscape photographer and if you're using the entry-level full-frame camera like EOS RP or the 6D Mark II, upgrading to EOS R5 is a huge upgrade for you, because you'll be getting at least 3 to 3.5 stops more dynamic range in the EOS R5, and you'll be getting at least 50% more resolution in the EOS R5. Now come to the action, sports and the wildlife photographers. If you're thinking to upgrade from EOS R to EOS R5, that will be the huge upgrade. Considering the more accurate and the more faster autofocus system in the EOS R5, then you get the in-body image stabilization in the EOS R5, and you have the 12 frame per second mechanical shutter and 20 frame per second electronic shutter. That is a huge upgrade if you want to upgrade from EOS R to EOS R5. Even though I have upgraded from EOS R to EOS R5, I'll be not selling out my EOS R because still I may use my EOS R as my primary still camera when I'm vlogging, when I'm doing some B-rolls with the EOS R5. As a hybrid shooter, I always need a second camera body which is more of the videographic capability, so I went with the EOS R5. Since I'm shooting both the photographies and the videographies equally, this is a huge upgrade for me. What drawn my eye towards the EOS R5 is more of the videography specs than the photography specs. The 4K 120fps, Full HD 120fps, 8K RAW 12-bit. There's a huge upgrade from EOS R to EOS R5. So I hope this video will help you to decide whether you need to upgrade from EOS R to EOS R5. Landscape photographers, sports, action and wildlife photographers. Decision is yours. Once again, thanks for watching this video. If you find this video is very helpful for you, please like, subscribe and share my videos. This will help me to grow in the future. So once again, thanks for watching this video. Bye for now.